Hey, good morning, everybody. Just heading down to Grand Lake again today. Got another instructional finesse trip on the Grand down there, and fishing's been pretty good down there. It's man, it seems like everything's really way behind. The fish, a lot of those fish hadn't even started to move up the spawn yet right now. So I think another week of warm weather, and then a lot of fish will get up and start spawning. But hey, what I wanted to do today is I sort of wanted to give everybody a little fishing report on some of the area lakes around here, around southwest Missouri. I know a lot of people have been fishing here lately. It's I've never seen anything like it. It's like every day that you go out there, even during the week, it's one of those late April days where it's 75 degrees with no wind and just perfect conditions. The ramps are crowded, everything's packed. Everybody's taking advantage of the getting out of the water, with the shutdown we're in. But so I wanted to sort of go over some of the lakes, sort of give you guys a little feel for what's going on. I've been fishing a bunch. I've been fishing a lot of the lakes around here, so I'm pretty up on what's going on. Primarily, I've been fishing Table Rock, Stockton, and Grand. Probably Table Rock more than any of them. But sort of going to go through those three and sort of give you a little update. Everything is pretty much a couple weeks behind this year, and when you talk about the progression into the late pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn, I think a lot of that, I don't really think it's due to the weather as much. I think a lot of it's due to the fact that we've had so much rain here this past spring. We've had a lot of water moving through these systems. The lakes have been up and down a bunch, but they've been a little bit higher than normal. And I think that's just backed a lot of those fish off. Those fish don't like that water moving fast or moving up and down a lot when they're wanting to spawn, and we've had a lot of that. And I think that's what's keeping those fish back a little bit. But Table Rock, lots of different ways you can catch them right now. There's still fish on the outside. You can still catch fish 15, 20 foot deep, out off the points. There are some fish actually bedding on there. There's fish cruising. Those fish setting up in those spawning type areas, those flatter banks, down to even like 10 foot. Those bigger fish are going to bed in that 6 to 8 foot water where you can't most of the time you can't see them. Maybe you can get a glimpse once in a while of a fin or something like that. But those better fish are going to be bedding a little bit deeper than what people think. Most of the bass that you see on beds on Table Rock are going to be, the smaller spotted bass and some of the smaller largemouth, the really easy beds to see. But you can basically go down to Table Rock right now, and you can put a green pumpkin trick worm, zoom trick worm in your hand, Texas rig it, shaky head rig it, drop shot it, whatever you want to do, and just catch a ton of bass. Just get in those flat coves anywhere that looks like a good spawning area, and you can catch them doing that. There's also enough water in the bushes and some of the river arms that you can catch them on a swim jig or top water, pitching, flipping around. That bite's going on a little bit. And like I said, there's still quite a few fish out on those points that you can catch in that 15 to 20 foot zone. Primarily those are smallmouth and spotted bass, but they're out there to be caught too, so fish is pretty good there. Stockton Lake, I've been up there quite a bit. Stockton is an absolute zoo right now. I really don't get it. Man, when I used to start, I've been fishing up there for 50 years, but I used to go up there a lot about 20, 25 years ago. I used to live just outside of Lamar, so it was pretty close for me to go up there. And a lot of times you go up there, and during the week you might see one or two boats at the ramp. And now any day that you go up there during the week, everything's in the overflow parking. I've never seen anything like it. It's just unbelievable. So Stockton has been getting really hammered a lot, really hammered hard, big time. But the fish are still biting up there right now. Again, the shaky head's probably the number one bait up there. Water's high at Stockton. There's probably 3 to 4 foot of water in the bushes. And so you can just go basically on the outside up those bush lines and throw that shaky head, and you can catch a lot of fish right now doing that. It's pretty easy to get bites with the shaky head, drop shot, wacky rig, Ned rig, that type of stuff. You can also catch some fish flipping the bushes. Occasionally you'll catch some good ones, but there's a lot of smaller males up there right now. But I'd recommend, staying on the north end of the lake. The south end of the lake has just gotten hammered just relentlessly. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So the north end has a lot more water, a lot more fishable water that's not really getting pounded quite as hard. A couple other things that can work down there is like the hardhead, like the Biffle hardhead is good up there right now. Carolina rig can catch some fish, and also getting in behind some of that flooded stuff, like in the back of the coves, you can throw a frog around and catch some fish. Down on the Grand Lake, where I'm going today, Grand Lake is really good, really fishing good right now. A lot of different ways to catch them. Water's a little bit high at Grand too. It's right at 745 right now. And that's the level I don't like it at. I'd rather have Grand like at 747 or like 741 or 742. I'd rather have it high or low. When you get it into that 745 zone, the lake fish is a little bit tougher than normal, but they're biting good down at Grand like that right now. The fish at Grand, they're just barely now starting to spawn. You can see a few beds here and there, but it's still behind, which is really rare for the first week of May at Grand Lake. But here again, I think there's been so much water move through the system that it's really backed them off a little bit. Same deal down at Grand. You can catch a lot of fish on a shaky head, wacky rig, drop shot. You can catch a lot of fish, not a lot, but you can catch some better fish on a swim bait shallow down at Grand right now. And you can catch them just pitching and flipping around like a brush hog, something like that, in and around behind the docks. But pretty much the fishing's good all over here, southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas. It's that time of year. The most of the bass are up in that shallow water right now, less than 10 foot of water. So that's what makes fishing really good. And this is going to last probably another 2 to 3 weeks, and it's going to start, you're going to start getting into that hardcore post-spawn, and it's going to get a little bit tougher. Things are going to change. Fish are going to move deeper. Those bigger fish are going to get harder to catch up shallow. So anyway, like I said, fishing's good right now. Going down for an instructional trip at Grand. Like I said, if you followed my YouTube channel or my social media, they've canceled our last 3 tournaments that we've had, so I've got a little bit of time here to do the instructional trip. So if anybody's interested in going out, any of the lakes around here, I've been taking people out, Lake of the Ozarks, Table Rock, Stockton, Grand, everywhere, Bull Shoals. Shoot me a private message, we'll get a trip lined out, we can go catch a bunch of fish right now. It's pretty fun. So hope everybody's hanging in there, staying safe, and we'll check in with y'all later. See ya.